This is the part 2 version of a life story of Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati. If you have not heard the part 1, I request you to listen the part 1 first and then come back here. You can see the part 1 in the description. I am giving you the link. Since then, two soldiers were continuously keeping guard on me day and night. One soldier was always sitting near my bed while I was sleeping at night. I made a plan to fool the soldier and run away. I wanted to know whether he was sleeping during the night. So I decided not to sleep at night but to pretend to be sleeping. Like this for 3 nights I did not sleep. On the fourth night the soldier fell asleep. I took a pot of water and went out of the room, thinking that if somebody would see me, then I would say that I was going to the toilet. From there I went out of the village and stayed in a garden. Early in the morning, I climbed a tree and remained seated on it the whole day. At night, at about 7 pm, when the darkness had spread, I left that place. This was my last contact with my village and my relatives. Once I met some people from my village at Allahabad, but I did not give them my address. From that day, I have not met anyone. From Siddhapur, I came to Baroda, and there I kept wandering on the banks of river Yamuna. A certain Yoganand Swami was residing there. A Brahmana from the south called Krishna Shastri also had elected domicile at that place. He used to teach me a little when I studied the Vedas from Rajguru. When I was 23-24 years old, I met a sannyasi at Chanuda Kanali. I was really very much interested to study. At the sannyasa ashrama, there existed all the facilities. Following this guy's advice, I performed Shraddha and accepted the order of sannyasi, and I was given the name Dayananda Saraswati. Here I discarded my stick. I met two Gosayans at Chanuda. They used to practice Raja Yoga. With them I reached Ahmedabad. Here I met a brahmachari. But after a few days I broke ties with them too. I wandered and reached Haridwar where the Kumbh Mela affair was going on. From there I went up to the mountain of Himalaya and reached the source of Alkananda river. There was so much of snow and water was so cold. My feet got hurt by the snow. While standing on the mountain I decided to put the end to my life in the snow. But thoughts came to my mind that we should acquire right knowledge and then leave this world. And then I returned to Mathura. At Mathura I met a guru, a teacher. He was a Dharmatma Swami, a pious man. Previously he was residing at Alwar. He was about 81 years old. He had keen interest in Vedas and Shastras, that is in the Arsha literature. He was a blind man and was regularly suffering from abdominal pain. He used to condemn the Puranas and he regarded the new treatise, that is the Kaumudi and the Shekara grammars are unacceptable. He was a great admirer of the books composed by Rishi Munis. He told me that in 3 years one can master the grammars. I made up my mind to study with him. A noble man called Amarlal was living at Mathura. That person provided me all help while I was studying there. I cannot forget his generosity and help. He gave me books. He gave me my daily food with much affection. Whenever he had to go anywhere, he used to prepare my food, and after having served me, he used to take his leave. I was really lucky that I met such a generous person. After having completed my studies, I spent some 2 years at Agra. Whenever I had any doubt, I used to write to my guru, or at times I went and meet him regarding my doubts. From Agra, I went to Gwalior. There, I started to criticize the Vaishnava beliefs. From Gwalior too, I used to write to Swamiji, that is my Acharya. An Acharya of Madhava cult called Hanumanta was also residing there. He used to attend my talks. On a few occasions, when some words were incorrectly used by me, he used to make them as an issue. At several times, I asked him who he was, but every time he replied, I am a simple clerk. Here, I acquired some experience and knowledge while delivering talks and listening to others. One day, I talked about the lines the Vaishnavas wear on their foreheads. I asked whether it was right or wrong. I asked if by drawing the lines on the forehead one can go to heaven. Then is it not evident that by painting the whole face one can attain a greater abode than heaven? Listening to my remarks, he became very angry and he went away. Then I learned from the audience that he was the head, the Acharya of the Madhava cult. From Gwalior, I went to Karoli. There I met a Kabirpanthi. He told me that there is a book called Kabira Upanishad. He also said that the word Veera stands for Kabira. From there I went to Jaipur. There was a learned Pandit called Harishchandra who was then residing there. There I condemned Vaishnavism. From Jaipur I went to Pushkar and then to Ajmer. At Ajmer I started condemn Shaivism. At the same time, the Maharaja of Jaipur was preparing to go to Agra to meet Lad Sahab, the Governor General. The Maharaja was scared that he might meet Rangacharya at Vrindavan and the later might challenge him for Shastrat, religious debate. So the Maharaja invited me to accompany him. But when I reached Jaipur, he changed his mind. He was not happy when he learned that I condemned Shaivism at Ajmer. Then I went to meet Swamiji at Mathura to find out befitting replies to my questions and doubts. From Mathura I went to Haridwar. I pitched a flag before my hut on which I wrote Pakanda Mardana, that is destructions of religious frauds. Several religious debates were held. Here an idea crossed my mind. I realized that I am alone facing the whole world. Then I asked why I should keep such a load of books with me like the householders do, and why not should I free myself? So I discarded everything except the loin cloth and I started to remain silent. That is, I avoided to talk. Last year when I was at Mumbai, I gave up the practice of smearing ashes on my body and I have been wearing clothes since I started to travel by train. I was not able to keep my vow to remain silent because many people knew me. One day at the doorstep of my hut, a certain person began to read that nothing is superior to Bhagavata, not even the Vedas. I could not hear such insults to Vedas. I broke my vow of silence and started to condemn the Bhagavad Puran. Then I took a vow that whatever little knowledge I have acquired must be shared with the people. With this thought in my mind, I went to Farrukhabad and then to Ramgarh. I started Shastrata everywhere. When two or more Pandits were speaking at a time, I used to say that they are making kola-ala noise. And even today, people of that place call me as Kola-ala Swami. Here, once 10 persons of Chakrankita sect came to kill me, but I was saved by a Dharmatma, a virtuous person called Madhava Prasad. This married man was ready to embrace Christianity. He had issued a notice to all the Pandits of the region and had warned them if within 3 months that they would not be able to convince him of the truth of Arya Dharma, he will embrace Christianity. I was able to save him from the conversion. I proved him the greatness of Arya Dharma. Then I went to Ramnagar from Prayag. There I had a Shastrat according to the wish of the Raja, the king of that area. The topic of the religious debate was whether the Vedas teach about idol worship or not. I proved that the word Pratima is found in the Vedas, but its meaning is not Murti, statue. The word Pratima means measure. The debate was recorded and published too. It may be consulted by the wise. Also by the term Itihasa, the Brahmanas are meant. A Shastrata was held on this subject too. Last year in the month of Bhadrapada, I was in Kashi. Up to now, I have visited Kashi 4 times, and every time I go there, I issue a notice that if anyone has been able to find any evidence in the support of Murti Puja in the Vedas, and to inform me accordingly. But up to now, nobody has been able to show me any such evidence. This is getting very interesting. I think I should stop here. I will make another part as a part 3 to conclude the life story of Maharishi Dayananda Saraswati. I hope you would have enjoyed it. I request you to listen it again and again on a daily basis to take much of inspiration and motivation from the life story of a great person. I request you to also subscribe my channel, spread the knowledge of Vedas to all the people and public. I also request you to start daily Agnihotra Homa by Gayatri Mantra. All the videos are available in my channel. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.